Wow. You know, there's probably a lot of people expecting me to be ecstatic, to be hooting and hollering. We beat the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road, which, to get it off, I'm glad we won. Hoo day, go Bengals. That was an excellent win. It was a much needed win. We eliminated the Steelers from the playoffs. We made a statement. Even with all our mistakes, we made a statement. Okay, and that's what they need to do. So I'm proud of them. But there was more issues in this game than positive stuff. Look, Andy Dalton did okay, but he had a few mistakes. Now, I contribute that the Bengals had absolutely, people, no running game today whatsoever. Ben Jarvis Green-Ellis had 15 carries. Listen to this. 15 carries, 14 yards. You know what that says? Pathetic. That is ridiculous. I'm sorry. Even with that being said, can you imagine what we could have done to the Steelers today if we had a running game? I mean, we could have beat this team probably 30-13 today if we would have got a running game going. But that's neither here nor there. The Bengals won. They escaped. It was an ugly win, but I'm glad they won. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers got some problems of their own. Look, Ben Roethlisberger played horrible today, but it's to be expected. You know, he's going to have bad days. Now, look, the Pittsburgh Steelers are a very respectable organization. I've said that. So I'm not going to come out here and beat them up. I mean, let's be honest. This was one fluke play that the Bengals had at the Steelers. Okay? The Pittsburgh Steelers are not 100% healthy right now, and they haven't been for a while. But, look, I'm glad we won. A win's a win. You know, but here's the thing I want to get off my chest. Marvin Lewis, this win probably saved him his job. Honestly. Marvin Lewis, seriously. People, this is what I'm talking about. It's 4th down and 22. And instead of going for a 49, 50-yard field goal, what's he do? He goes for it. He goes for it on 4th down and 22 against one of the best defenses in the league, considering their age, but they're still one of the best defenses in the league. I mean, give me a break. Worst case scenario, we miss the field goal. But what you don't do is try to go for it on 4th down and 22 when the game's tied. If it was a must-win, if you had to score, if you were down by 4 or 5 points and it had to score, that'd be different. We didn't have to score. We were in scoring range. Now, granted, it was a little longer, but take your chances and get 3 points up on the board. You can't do it on 4th and 22, Marvin. Come on. Seriously. And that was just one of a couple. I mean, but that was the main one that stood out to me. A.J. Green made a costly fumble, which then we had turnovers today. No, fortunately, they didn't cost us the game because the Pittsburgh Steelers had just as many turnovers right back. So we kind of canceled each other out. But people, if you're a Bengals fan, you really can't be impressed with this win. I mean, you're glad they won. Of course you won. We're in the playoffs. You know, we've done it a lot in the last 2 years that, in my opinion, Carson Palmer didn't do in 8 years. You know? But anyways, look, everything set aside, I'm glad the Bengals won. You know, I'm really happy they did. But people, seriously, with these issues you got right now, you got to wonder what's going to happen to us in the playoffs. I mean, if we play the way we did today against like New England or Denver, which is probably the team we're going to have to face once we get there, maybe the Colts if we're lucky, and I say lucky because they're younger and it's not, you know, it's not no Tom Brady. Although Andrew Luck is a hell of a quarterback, I've said that all year long, but that being said, people, I mean, if we had to play the Patriots today, we would probably got beat 45-10, the way we played. We had no running game, but Jarvis Green-Ellis needs to go, people. I'm sorry, the kid had me tricked that he was really good. I mean, yeah, he put up 100 yards here and there against teams like Kansas City. I mean, that don't say nothing. You know, so I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad the Bengals won. Our defense won us that game. I mean, our defense executed. They made plays when they needed to, and that's why we won this game. Because, let me tell you something, I know what ultimately would have happened if that interception would have happened at the end of the game. Pittsburgh would have gone down, drove down the field, got a field goal, and won the game. I mean, people, seriously, I'm disappointed. I'm not trying to sound like a downer. Look, I'm glad the Bengals won. I've said it again, but I'm glad that they won. Don't get me wrong. I'm a fan, so of course I'm rooting for them. Now, next week, guys, that Baltimore game is going to scare me, honestly, because I don't know. This team needs changes. Even us going to the playoffs, we still need changes. Marvin Lewis, like I've said this all year long, the guy's got to go. I mean, seriously, you don't call it 4th down 22. I mean, Marvin, come on, dude. Seriously, you don't do that. It's just, the guy's not an NFL head coach. I'm sorry. He pulled us out of the basement for a couple years, but you know what? We've regressed. We haven't really gotten any better. Now that we got Andy Dalton in here finally and a couple good receivers, we're coming out of the basement again. But there were times when we had Carson Palmer. We had Terrell Owens, Carson Palmer, Hushmanzada, Jermaine Gresham, and God knows who else. Chad Johnson. And we finished with a 4-12 season back-to-back. Bengals back-to-back. No, but anyways, seriously, you get what I'm saying. Look, the Bengals won today. They executed. They did a good job. They made the plays they needed to. This is the game they needed to make a statement. I said that at the beginning of this week. They needed to make a statement, and that's exactly what they did. They beat the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road. They did a great job of that. So hats off to them because they did great. The Pittsburgh Steelers, look, they got problems. Look, without Roethlisberger, the Pittsburgh Steelers are a 4-12 team. I mean, right now. Seriously. But Roethlisberger's made some mistakes, this and that. Now, people are saying Roethlisberger needs to go. I even seen some Steeler fans saying Roethlisberger needs to go. Roethlisberger is a 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterback with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Taking him to 3 Super Bowls, but he won 2 of them. He's not a terrible quarterback. There's something, they're old. It's plain simple, they're old. And with old age, they slow down. Troy Polamalu, I'm sorry, he's living off his name. He ain't nowhere near as good as he used to be. He did good today, I'll give him that. But the guy, I mean, look, what the Pittsburgh Steelers were in Super Bowl 40 and 43, they ain't that no more, by any stretch of the imagination. Look, Pittsburgh Steelers got a respectful organization, you know, so they will regroup because they always do. They regroup real fast. But Roethlisberger is not to blame for this loss today, as much as people want to. But he made a few mistakes. He's a quarterback. It's going to happen. You know? Anyways, just going over a couple more games here real quick. Just final. The Minnesota Vikings, look, I'll give you your due. You beat the Houston Texans. Houston looked horrible today. I mean, seriously, they did. I had a feeling that was coming, but I just don't like the Vikings because everybody up here is a Viking fan, you know, so of course, whatever. It's just, they're a bunch of bandwagon jumpers, again, like I said. But, no, the Houston Texans played horrible today. Minnesota, I'll give you your due. You deserve it. You guys look good today, and you did a good job. St. Louis Rams won today. Like I said, that St. Louis Rams team, I'm telling you, they're 1 or 2 steps away from being a good team. That team is good, and they could go deep next year. They won't do nothing this year, odds are. I don't know if they're still in the playoff race. I don't think they are, but I'm telling you, that team is going to be something in years to come. Washington Redskins won. Who cares? Honestly, I'm still not a believer in them. Dallas Cowboys, they had a great comeback, but unfortunately, they didn't pull it off in the end. That probably eliminated their playoff chances. Chargers won. Who cares? Jets suck. I don't even know why I picked them. Carolina won. Miami won. Miami is going to be one of those teams that's going to come out of the basement in a couple of years. Bengals won, of course. Patriots, they didn't look too good today, but they won. Colts won today. Of course, that was a given. They played Kansas City. But Colts, they could go deep. They really could. Andrew Luck is a hell of a quarterback. They're highly underrated, people. I'm telling you, that Colts team could go deep this year. I'm not saying they win it all, but they're going to go deep. And our current games in progress, the Broncos are going to win that. They were up 14-0 last I looked. Ravens look like they're going to win. Giants will fall apart. I don't know if the Giants and the where the hell was it? The Cowboys losing. It may put the Rams back in playoff contention. I'm doing this for my buddy because he's a diehard Rams fan, and he's got a buddy who's a diehard Seahawks fan, so it's kind of confusing. The rivals. Ravens, like Chicago Bears, they'll probably win today, but it don't mean nothing. And tonight's game, I'm really looking forward to. I got the Seahawks picked in that game. That's going to be a really good game to watch. But anyways, people, this video's gone long enough. You know how I feel. Bengals won. I'm glad they did. But listen, people, they need improvements. And I'm zooming in. They need improvements. No doubt about it. Need improvements. So glad they won, but I'm a little disappointed at the same time. But we'll get that in another video. So, Hoo Day, go Bengals, and we'll get to you next week.